guys, welcome to our channel, Fellowship of the Bench. I'm Prerna.
And I'm Prapti. Nice to meet you all.
Hello. We're going to talk about reality TV, which we love. We met at a New Year party.
Because we're friends of friends.
Yeah, we're friends of friends, and then we realized that we were obsessed with gaming reality shows and really niche things. That we are both, we like to speculate along with, and we like to discuss the drama. So we just thought that and because of our shared love for the Traitors, we thought that this would be a great time to do this and actually sit together and deep dive into Traitors India now that we have our own version.
Yes.
We are very excited, and you will, because this is our first video, you will have to excuse our awkward editing and lighting and video. Awkward everything, like awkward body language.
But we promise you a good time because we love the Traitors.
Yes.
We have spoken endlessly about Traitors seasons on the New Year's party, discussed those seasons after that, and now are super excited to showcase and review Traitors India with this excitement and energy.
Absolutely.
So what we lack in experience, we make up for in excitement.
Yeah, excitement, and also like a deep knowledge of what the game is. We've seen, multiple seasons. You've seen US, UK, Canada, New Zealand.
And hopefully the Hungarian one,
which is apparently
supposed to be really
top
good
ones. So we and we watch shows like Survivor, we watch shows like Devil's Plan and Challenge and Roadies
and the Mole. Anonymous. Did you end up watching the Anonymous?
No,
I have to get you to watch that.
You have to get me to watch
that.
But
as you can see, we're reality TV junkies. Originally fantasy junkies, as you can tell by the channel's name. And really just growing up on Crystal Maze and Takeshi's Castle and Legends of the Hidden Temple to shows that are popular today.
Yeah, nobody beats Javed Jaffrey's Takeshi's Castle.
Go. Very quickly, what is your one or two favorite things about Traitors that makes you want to watch the show?
I just think that I really like the setting of it, like them all in a creepy castle or lovely palace or something, with secret like turrets and things. I like the setting a lot. I like the mafia murder type mystery kind of element of it. As somebody who's grown up on murder mysteries and things, this is really right up my alley. And two, I really like, the social gameplay. Nothing beats that. Like the way that a person can, just through social capital, win like a ton of money and lose a ton of money, and like what this closed environment can do to people just mentally is fascinating. And obviously the strategy, like thinking like it's chess, so you think 3 steps 4 steps ahead. Sometimes it doesn't pan out, and then what happens if you have to pivot? It's brilliant. So all of those things. What about you?
The people dynamics is my favorite thing. The ability to differentiate between gameplay and to remove oneself from that, because at the end of the day you are betraying somebody in the game, but also that dynamic or that fine balance between it is just a game versus betrayal. And in the wise words of Karan Johar, trust is rare, but shak is and doka is everywhere. So that's my favorite part. Of course, the drama, the strategizing,
the host's crazy outfits,
the amazing locations, the tasks.
So good.
I enjoy all of those things, but those things are available in other shows as well. And you're absolutely right. The murder element, the backstabbing, an actual killing of a person in the game is highly fascinating.
It's great.
Almost a monopoly that a trader has, that power to simply just throw someone out of the game.
That power can change you. That you sometimes we've seen games where someone is given, you think someone unassuming is given that traitor power, and that changes them completely as players, and it's fascinating to watch. Like,
which has been your favorite traitors season across the world?
UK season 2.
Yeah,
I think it has a fabulous winner.
I completely agree.
Just the way that they play, but also a very likable cast overall, and
some very strategic game players in that cast.
Yeah, strategic game players,
very nicely
and they're regular people, right, in the UK season. So it's fascinating how like normal people like you and me could have played this game.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think that season is made by its winner and the way that winner has played their game. The best, I think, winner so far in the traitors in the seasons that we have seen. Excellent winner. Wonderful gameplay. So like when you heard that Karan Johar had bought rights, what did you like? Tell me a little bit about your relationship with traitors.
I started watching traitors, I think it was the UK season 1.
Right.
I was absorbed.
Yeah.
So UK season 1 is when I got gripped.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this would be so much fun if made in the Indian context. Then after UK season 1 came UK season 2, and then there were the American seasons in between.
Yeah.
And after UK season 2, which was by far my favorite, there was the UK, there was the traitors, Australia, New Zealand, and I think Canada.
Yeah.
So that's when my curiosity in traitors was piqued. I'm craving an Indian season for forever, and suddenly at one point, I think it was September or August in 2024 when it was first announced that they were shooting the series. I was mad excited, but I was also like, it looked like there was a bunch of celebrities that were going to go on the show.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Because so for those of you who don't know, the different seasons in different countries have different like people who play. So in the UK season, the UK seasons have normal people, like they could be everyday people, hairdressers from like bakers, whatever, like they're just everyday people who play this kind of wild social game. In the US seasons, it's all the celebrities, kind of predictably. So they have the housewives, they have people from Survivor, they have people from like various properties that we haven't watched.
Yeah.
The
Netflix hot
and
people.
they play very differently because they know where the camera is, they know how to work the camera, and I've always thought that which makes for a very different game. You can tell the difference. I think if you watch the seasons, you can tell the difference. And like what I actually wanted from the Indian traitors, which I knew would not happen because like that's not what India is like. Indian reality television really is. It's like Big Boss and stuff. And Roadies is the one where maybe people come out from the street, but that's a very specific prototype that they look for. Like there's a particular roadie fit, the gym going. So it's not like normal, like an auntie is playing this with like your neighborhood auntie is playing.
Your neighborhood auntie was on Roadies this year, but let's not.
Okay, never mind. But whatever. But that would be fun. But her neighborhood auntie playing a strategy game, that I would want to see.
That's true.
I think I would have liked that more, but I knew that wouldn't happen, and they would want to put celebrities into this. So my only thing was that Karan Johar is making it, so I thought he'd bring a bit of flair, because like the hosts of the traitors is quite important. I think they add a lot to the game. Like Claudia in the UK traitors is the best host. So
but that's the thing, right? Like the host is the backbone of the series, and every season there's a different cast, there's a different strategy and a different gameplay. But the host really brings it together. And there is a sense of.
So I thought, Karan Johar was an interesting. I thought he'd bring flair at least, if nothing else. Drama, sure, but I wasn't sure about him being host. And I think going into the game, like now that we've seen the first 3 episodes, we'll hold this question, but I have a question about Karan's host prowess. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence about it.
I don't know if I can preempt your question.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's Karan from OG Coffee with Karan, like in the early years when he brought the drama and he brought the stuff out of the people, and not the Karan that we've seen in the last 4-5 years where all the nepotism and the drama and the cases and the stuff is where he is more subdued and cautious.
He's very cautious.
We don't want a cautious Karan Johar. We want a sassy drama. Bring it.
And I'm not sure that came across. You know, a lot of the traitors. I don't know. We are moving into this like current discussion already, so we might as well move into
Let's
it.
go.
We'll just talk about the first 3 episodes
because Traitors season 1 India is out now.
Yeah, and you know we can talk about what we thought about it, but we thought a lot about it. I mean,
Lots.
It's a lot about it. Yeah. So I think let's just go into the discussion already because you know, we can talk a little bit about what our overall thoughts were about the first 3 episodes, what we thought of the cast, and you know what we thought of the setting and all of that. Let's like give an overview and then we'll talk deep. We'll go deep into the first 3 episodes.
Right.
So what were your first impressions when we watched it together?
That's right.
So you know we had real time reactions, and I mean like what did you think of the first 3 episodes and there's been some talk. They're long episodes actually. They're like an hour or so long, and that's quite long for like a reality TV show, which is not Big Boss, which is just sit around and watch people in this house go mad together. But what did you think of the first 3 in terms of like cast and strategy? Overall,
my first impression was that Mahal in Jaisalmer is the most beautiful castle / fort / Mahal that is
far
in any of the seasons of Traitors I've ever seen across the globe.
It is so stunning,
so India, so lavish, and that's why I like this is Karan Johar doing Karan Johar.
But do you think that if you were in this Mahal, you would just find like a couple of the cast people who we'll talk about find a way to sleep through the day? I would just find a little corner in this Mahal and sleep. I mean, it's so massive, no one will find me. I feel like amazing.
I feel like I would be so excited and constantly pinging. Sleep would be difficult to come by for me. I would explore every nook and cranny of the place, and I would want to be eyes and ears in every conversation to have as much information in the game, but that's me. But going back to the actual topic, the lavishness of the Mahals is tops. I love the lavish set of the Circle of Shak, which is the round table where banishments happen. I thought that table was one of the most beautiful I have ever seen in comparison to any other season of Traitors anywhere else in the world as well.
The set design is top notch.
Right.
I mean, excellent.
Exactly. So big shout out to the people who've done the production. Excellent value.
All of it.
Bringing it all.
The cloaked people.
Right.
Bang the drums and everything. I mean, great stuff.
Brilliant. What do you think?
I mean, I of course the atmosphere is there, which I was sure India was going to bring that actually, because we have these palaces, and I was hoping that this would be like a grand palace, and obviously because it's Karan Johar, he likes these lavish sets and things, so I hope that he would bring it, and he has, and I'm very happy about that. So like 10 on 10, no notes for the set design, for any of that, for the drama. I in terms of like the cast, when we started watching, we didn't know most of these people. I don't know, we are also millennials who come to it with a certain, like, we are like, okay, who are these YouTubers? we didn't know who the young YouTubers were, who later, we'll talk about it, have become some of our favorite like characters in the show.
Sure.
And so we don't know the YouTubers. There are also like some people like Urfi Javed and things who we are like, okay, I mean, she's
I've seen them.
She comes with a certain personality, but we don't know how she'll play a strategy game, because she's like all the drama. She brings all the drama, and there are some like lesser known actors and poor one Ashish Vidyarthi.
That's right.
Yeah. So we didn't.
But what an interesting casting call.
Yes.
I would not have dreamt of someone like him, and props to the confidence
to him for doing it.
Yeah. And I'm very excited about how he develops.
Yeah.
Hopefully he develops across.
I don't know. I'm sort of like, I have a question mark about how he'll play the game.
Nice.
But I thought that the cast was okay. I think I just wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt to see how they would play this game.
Yeah.
And so far it's been great. I'm glad they're bringing the drama, they're bringing strategy, which is incredible.
Right off the bat.
I'm so impressed.
Very impressive.
So we'll get into this, but overall, I was a big fan of the first 3 episodes. I thought that it does justice to the Traitors format, because we've seen so many of the other seasons. We've seen the way various countries, people in different countries play this game, both celebrities and normal people. I just think that it works. Like, it's good. I'm hoping that it continues and the strategy continues and doesn't become very the drama doesn't overtake the strategy of the game. But so far it's been very good.
I completely agree that we're both super excited for what's to come. We were both cautiously optimistic, I think, when it was starting, but we enjoyed it straight off the bat. We were excited, we were entertained.
Absolutely.
It was not predictable. So it had all the elements, and the first 3 episodes have not disappointed, to say the least. So we're excited, and I think we're here, and you'll be hearing us doing a lot more episodes for at least this entire season of Traitors India season 1. I think that's a good overview before we dive into spoilers. For anyone who's not seen the first 3 episodes, we will now be discussing in depth what's transpiring within the episode, and
listen to us, or you can watch us if you want. But I would tell you that we will be discussing this, all the spoilers, all the murder and the banishments. So if you don't want to hear any of it, you can catch up with the show and then come back to us. So so you want to get straight into the first episode?
Yeah, and I have a question to start with.
Okay.
Traitor selection. What did you think about it? And what did you predict how Karan Johar would pick his traitors? And then what is your opinion on what was picked?
I was not expecting these traitors to be picked. He picked Raj Kunda, who is a moron in this game. Absolute useless. Anyway, so
we're going to be rating our traitors later in the show.
Yeah, I know, but this is. I'm going to rate him really low. So they
no spoilers here.
Oh yeah, sure. I didn't expect him to pick like a young, YouTuber, and Elnaz. And okay, Elnaz was in an interesting position in the beginning. Maybe that if I don't know how the traitors are picked. I don't know if production picks them before or it's based on the interviews that they give Karan. But Elnaz also has an interesting choice right at the beginning. She was first alienated by the entire gang.
That's right.
Nobody said that they trusted her.
That's right.
So I thought she came into it from a very backward position. Think about it, they all alienated her. At the beginning they were given a choice and nobody said that they trusted her. So she was right at the end. And then she ended up making an interesting decision. I thought a good one, to eliminate the poker player.
Very strategic.
A strategic, smart decision. So maybe that ended up being her,
being a traitor.
Something like that. Yeah. So that was an interesting one. I liked that decision when it was done. And I had no context of the baby YouTuber, so I was like, okay,
we'll see.
He was coming into it with great bloodthirstiness, so I'm encouraged by it. But if you take all are we talking about all the 3 episodes together, as a traitor?
No, this is just
the beginning.
What were you expecting about?
I wasn't expecting anything. I thought he would pick either the Bollywood wife or Anshula.
Yeah, that was something we discussed.
We
were like, it's predictable because on
Yeah.
pretty much every other Traitors season that we've watched,
Yeah.
if two people know each other, whether it is disclosed or undisclosed, it is one of the two people that is made a traitor, which is anyway.
I mean,
so we thought that would
not always, but
happen.
sometimes like
It's
that
highly
does
likely to happen.
Yeah, it is likely to happen. But you know what?
And
The
it makes
weird
for
thing
good
is that
TV.
other people
Yeah.
also thought that one of them will be a traitor. They keep thinking that they're
Yeah.
like ये दोनों एक दूसरे को जानते हैं, तो one of them is going to be a traitor.
Correct.
So I mean, maybe then it's the same thought process, which
is
why
again
they
a very good move because very well thought through by whoever's picking the traitors to pick to know what is predictable and then do something
somebody
different.
One of them will be like a bigger name or face. Maybe Raj
Maybe
Kundra was a
Raj Kundra
bigger
was that,
name
yeah.
or face. Although that didn't last. but yeah, I wasn't sure, but I was okay.
It's
about
definitely
it.
an interesting choice.
Interesting choice. Yeah.
Also, in that entire clip of interviews with Karan Johar, where each person pitches why they what role they want to play, whether it's traitors or the word innocence. I'm so used to faithfuls that I don't know why.
I don't know why
innocence.
My theory is that a lot of people will not know what a faithful is.
I'm saying people in India don't know what faithful means.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying just as a mass word.
You'd rather be innocent than
sure.
faithful is what you're trying to say.
Innocent is a much more like a well-used word, right? Like it's used very frequently as opposed to a faithful.
Right.
So I don't hear people talking to each other about whether they are whether someone is faithful or not. So innocent is something that you are or whatever. So it's used every day. So
so the point I was trying to make was
maybe they did some kind of survey or something to figure this out, and someone was like, we don't know what a faithful is.
ठीक है, तो
so
innocent बन जाओ.
it. कुछ तो करते होंगे. पहले you must be doing some kind of dipstick survey.
We'll see. So Purav.
Yeah, it's an interesting character. I said, I have no context about any of these young YouTubers.
Yes.
But him and obviously Apurva, who is our great MVP of the first 3 episodes.
Easily.
Geet from Jab We Met, just very Geet energy.
Great energy.
Yeah. So she's been great fun, and I think once the game moves on, she's sharp and she's funny and doesn't stop talking, which might be to her detriment, but who knows. She says that in the first episode, I think they're just getting to know everybody's getting to know each other, and groups are forming and things like that, but she is one of the highlights of the first episode.
100% agreed.
That and the first thing that Raj Kundra does once he gets out of banishment, which is basically goes around and telling people, I have this great theory that I shook hands with everybody.
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
And I can tell if they're a traitor or not because their hands are sweaty or
whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And then he realizes that he's messed up because he's like, okay, maybe I should have been all gung-ho about this and brought everybody together for this, and then I'm going to step back once the damage is already done. Because obviously everybody gloms onto the fact that he did this, which is stupid. And the second thing is Apurva, because Apurva,
she clocked it immediately.
And then immediately went around. She says that I knew how I wanted to play my game. I wanted to go under the radar, but obviously मैं तो चुप नहीं होती तो
100% Apurva's one-liners, wit, drama, and sensibility. I love her gameplay. It might be putting herself up for murder, but we've seen players being like, अब तो ये murder होनी है. But then actually just pull through the season. I hope that for her. Because
I want to keep seeing her.
I am very entertained by
She
Apurva.
is the most fun so far in the game.
Yeah.
But I think, the first episode obviously has a task as well, where they have to they're on the train and then they're divided into 3 groups, and obviously one group messes up hugely and doesn't know the answer to do or do panch. Just, if I can face palm harder, I would. But that was just stupid. And they lose out on 14 lakhs or whatever that they had earned. Which then later this one Raj obviously messes up again and says, we should kick out the people in that group or whatever.
Who are not here to earn the money.
Yeah. He does not shut up, that man. Obviously to his own detriment. But we'll talk about how the traitors in the Traitor's Star, when they first meet, and Pura was so excited.
Yeah.
And then both of them, Elnaz and Pura were like, आपके ऊपर suspicion आ रहा है, आप ज़्यादा कुछ
calm down, Raj.
Calm down.
I think Elnaz said that clearly.
Calm down. Yeah. But let's talk a little bit about the decision that they make to kick out Sahil.
Right. Big. I didn't see that coming.
No.
Especially with the one entire episode worth of knowledge that I gained of Elnaz, I was pretty confident that she's not going to be a pushover. The boys, especially Raj, is not going to be able to influence her decisions.
She tries a little bit to keep him. She makes she tries to not show that it's important that he stays in the game.
Yeah.
But she subtly says that I think you can control him or calm and things like that. But it doesn't obviously work for her. The boys seem to bully her into this decision, which again, like you said, was a surprise.
Very surprising.
But I think this was a bad move for her because
for her game,
because she is not a naturally social person, and which was clearly seen by the fact that she was ostracized right at the start of nobody trusted her, and she was the last person standing, which so that shows that she wasn't close to anyone. But Sahil seemed to have relationships with other people, and she was close to Sahil. So if she had managed to keep him in the game, she would have been a good bridge.
I think it would have been a good long game.
Yeah,
for
between her and other people.
I agree.
I don't know why she agreed to this.
Yeah.
She should have fought harder for him.
Right.
Even her gamble that her being upset will prove to others that she's innocent.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's worth it. I think that it was not worth doing this to a close ally that early in the game.
That's right, 100%.
Later, if there was some more suspicion on her, she could have used this card.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it was a bad move, and we'll see how it pans out. But so far, from what the game is panning out to be, and jumping a little bit to episode 3 and how she's being perceived as somebody who jumps between groups, she doesn't seem to have
that
safe space and anchor.
Yeah.
And I feel like Sahil would have been that for her.
Probably.
And she made a mistake.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out as the game goes on.
Right.
But so that was the first, first.
So while I agree with you about letting Sahil get murdered was a surprise for me, and probably not good for her game in the long run. It served the purpose that they were going for.
Yes.
At breakfast in the morning, now we're at second episode, confusion.
So much.
Why did Sahil go? There is really zero.
Which the traders are very happy about.
Yeah.
And I think even Raftaar gave them credit for being smart, and this.
And Elnaz played her part where she wept and looked sad. Though again, Apurva clocked it
so well.
Yes. So Apurva is right now 2 out of 3.
Yes.
At the early stages, she has picked up 2 out of 3 traitors, which is props to Apurva.
Props to her. Not that everybody did, because other people were saying that she was crying, so I could see that she was upset, but Apurva was immediately
crocodile tears.
Like crocodile tears. I was impressed by that. So I think second episode was obviously our highlight.
Favorite episode out of the 3 because so much happened, and I think we have so much to talk about it.
Especially right at the end.
Right.
That big explosion. That was so satisfying and so good. We'll talk a little bit about what that means in the context of the game overall.
Right.
Not just for India, but the way that Traitors is played out across the world.
Yeah.
Because this was history making.
Yeah.
So quite incredible.
Amazing episode too.
Yeah.
So I think because we're talking about culminating with the explosions, let's start with
the people
Ashish falling asleep. What's happening there? How is it that you're in the middle of this strategy game where your mind's pinging and you're in the middle of a game and you're sleeping? How does that happen?
He will be many people's spirit animal. You just take a cushion and then you just fall asleep on this rug or like on a shea lounge or something. It doesn't matter what people are talking about. Apparently he was detecting things, but you have to be awake for that.
Yeah, you've got to be awake to be able to be detective is my opinion.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you do you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, let's see how this strategy plays out. Because
Yeah.
he did talk about how deliberate this is.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a great argument, but
yeah, not a great argument at all.
No,
it was easily an argument that could send someone home.
Yeah,
and it didn't.
So suspicions rise on Ashish. Well, Mahip says that she's the one who brings it up, and she says that he seems to have changed after the Traitors were announced. And first he was everywhere and he was talking to everyone, and then he seems to have turned quiet. So that is what is pinging their radar. So everybody is kind of suspicious about Ashish. So his name has been going around.
Right.
Another one is Janvi, who just cannot crack the social game at all. People do not like her, which doesn't help herself.
It doesn't. She doesn't help herself. He's struggling to fit in.
Yeah, and she's just after the poor Harsh.
Yeah, and I thought it was fairly funny. Harsh was hardly coming from a place of disrespect. I thought it was curiosity. Like, she said astrologer, so he said Jadutona. In that, I thought it was not disrespectful at all in Harsh's defense.
It's fine. Like, it could have been okay, fine. Like, not to speak for Janvi here. So maybe it was disrespectful to her, and she thought she took it like that. But let it go, Janvi.
Yeah,
like, this is a social game.
Right.
Do not keep at it constantly. He apologized, all of it,
and he apologized, which was big of him, but he honestly looked like he came from a place of genuine curiosity.
Sure.
And he was joking. It was not at all like Jadutona karte or anything of the sort. So in his defense, I actually thought I'm going to give a minute to Harsh's gameplay, in fact, in all of this. Where I thought Harsh was very tactful, very calculated in a very genuine way, and saying the right amount, joking the right amount, mingling the right amount, and doing well in tasks and having good logic. I think Harsh, despite all this drama with Janvi, made the best, most pertinent point before the circle of shock, which was everyone is getting really irritated with Janvi's behavior and ostracizing herself attitude. And then they just said that let's just vote her out because she's a bad innocent.
Yeah.
And Harsh actually stepped in and gave serious logic there, saying you're just gonna be 3 innocents down by the end of the day, and that's just bad and detrimental to innocent gameplay. Like on the long game, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a very logical argument.
Yeah, that just saved Janvi's skin.
Yes, it did actually. I feel like it turned the tide because most people were gonna vote for her. There is a bit of the herd mentality in the Traitors that always happens in any social game, I think. We've seen some of the other social games, Survivor, etc. There is a bit of herd mentality. There's one loud voice,
except that Janvi is just in one corner. I quickly want to remind everyone about my favorite Janvi moment. I think my favorite moment in the 3 episodes. We have laughed for a while.
We had to pause it and then go back to it.
That's right. So Janvi ji is sitting in one corner. Apurva saunters in and says, Janvi ji, kya hua? She's like, kuch nahi.
I'm snoozing.
Snoozing. So she's like, हाँ, but आपकी आंखें तो खुली हैं. You're fully awake.
You're fully awake.
It was so funny.
It was so funny
in that moment. And there are people that are trying to include her into the game.
Yeah.
And then there's a really side cahoot between Mahip, Janvi and Sufi, where there's this dynamic of she's a traitor, no, she's a traitor, and Sufi's just going crazy between the two of them.
Mahip takes great offense to the fact that Janvi is tossing her name around. To be fair, Janvi is tossing everybody's name around. One of the things that works to her detriment because she's going to different people and saying different names, which is the stupidest thing. But Mahip takes great offense to the fact that I know that you are tossing people's names around. I think you are the traitor, and so Maheep and Janhvi have a weird
tension, and we don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah,
and it's not good for the innocents in the game.
No, not really.
Right. So what do you think of the games that are in the Traitors episodes between the murders and the banishments? The games and tasks for earning money.
I don't know. I've always been a little on the fence about this. Mainly because I feel like they should have higher stakes. So a little bit later, when like episode 3, when the shield is introduced into the format, yes, that adds a certain element to the game where it affects gameplay. But initially, like, unless there are social games where someone is ostracized because of some answers that were given or whatever, like in this case, there was a very funny one where where people think that Elnaz is the person who doesn't understand the game, which is hilarious because she's running circles around them so far. So and she also found it very amusing, and it's good for her if people think that she doesn't understand the game. Less suspicion on her, but I just feel like in all the formats we've seen in the US season, UK season, they're the same structure. The games are the same. We've seen this wheel game in like a UK season before and things like that. Like we've seen the version of the train one as well. We've seen in the UK season as well.
And so I'm very excited about the death procession. That is Indianized. I'm so excited to see it. It's on the upcoming episodes.
So we've seen some versions of these before, but I feel like either they need to make the games more interesting, have a higher social component, something more like something that divides people more, so that the game becomes more tricky. Like this was a good one where people were like, who is the most selfish, or who is make the people on the wheel didn't seem to take much offense. Good for Sufi for not taking a lot of offense for that, because a lot of
खुद के लिए vote कर रहा था,
तो
which is good. It's self-aware and game जीतना है, पैसा जीतना है.
Yeah, so he wants to buy his house or whatever. But as a faithful, actually, he won't get all the money. So I don't know how he'll buy a house in Bombay.
I don't think he's thinking that far ahead.
Yeah, but I am. Yeah, that's what we think about. So at the most he'll get like, I don't know, 30-40 lakhs. The faithful can never one faithful can win the game. Right. So it's going to be 2 or 3 faithful who win if they win. So
unless Sufi gets recruited as a traitor in the future.
If he becomes a traitor, then
he might be looking out for that.
He will be a terrible traitor, but we'll come to that. We'll come to that when we discuss what will go on in the game, go on forward. But essentially, I don't know. I feel like the games need to. I always tend to like either get bored during the games or want to forward them, and I feel like they need to be more interesting, or have some kind of like, either you get a clue to who the traitor is, or like have some kind of like death like, stakes, like higher stakes. I don't know.
Interesting. I
always forward the games.
Yeah, no, so here's how I see these tasks, right? In a celebrity season, you already have some information, but when there's a season where there's people you don't really know, then every move they make in the task is information about their personality, about their motivations, about who they are they a team player, can they be loyal, or do they just care about themselves, or I'm not doing this for any amount of money in the world, right? Each of these personalities, right? Each of these personalities, then that information plays into your strategy and gameplay and thinking. So for me, I do like watching the tasks. I want to see who wins. I want to see what strategy they are applying and how into it you are. Like to me, all of those points, like do they do it just for style? We saw someone just plonk into the water, chest first, but like it's not even deep. So game awareness, these are all things that contribute to a player profile or player persona when you're strategizing. And I think that really contributes.
It's like information that you get about their personalities, right? It's at the end of the day, it's a social game. So
and then what is said, slip-ups can happen, right?
Because like Raj did.
So you're so into the game that you you have a natural persona from within. You know you're a traitor, so you're thinking like
and
that.
You
and
fired up maybe like during the game, and you want to get
adrenaline
something
is high,
out.
charged. You know, in the game you might react. So the motivations become that much more exposed in that setting. And then there's money at stake, which is like in my opinion the motivation for the game also.
Maybe I just think that because you've seen some level of Survivor, and those tasks are much more brutal and much more interesting. I just think that these are just like the kiddie level versions of those tasks. So maybe that's my perspective. I don't know. You're totally right. It does add a lot to understanding the game and understanding the people you're playing this with, right? Like it, yes, definitely does. Who's good? Who's willing to sacrifice their body?
What's at stake?
And getting the team to where it needs to be, and obviously you make new relationships also within these games. If you play something, we've seen this before, in some of the games where two unlikely people have been paired up or something. They have a relationship that they wouldn't have had without it. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the games play out in this season, but but so far, I mean, they've been okay. The social game was fun, although they were very bad at it.
They were, it was, and it is a popular opinion. I have had a few friends say we simply forward the tasks.
Yeah, the tasks.
So it is a popular opinion. Just this is, it's all part of the system of.
Let's talk about the big set piece of this episode, which was the big banishment at the end.
Circle of Shuck.
The Circle of Shuck, which is a fun name actually.
I think I love it.
I like it.
And the production goes with the grandeur of
so good.
Production value for the drama. So they're bringing everything, all guns blazing. It's lovely.
So I mean, obviously Sufi started them off because he is one of the more outspoken players, though always wrong. So he started them off with Ashish questioning him about how he had changed, and he'd seen a change in his demeanor, and then Ashish says that he was just being a detective.
Weak defense, man.
It's a very strange defense. Like, the man is going to, I don't know, I don't think the suspicion is completely gone from him, but it's
not at all. Going into Circle of Shuck, I thought to myself, Ashish is going.
Absolutely. Because I thought Harsh had made a good argument for why Janhvi should not go. Although people were still, I mean, obviously Mahip was very...
They were irritated with her.
Yeah,
but I think they bought Harsh's logic.
Out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they
were convinced that, it's
logic. But I think Ashish was only saved by Apurva's excellent defense.
Correct.
Like, let's talk a little bit about...
Let's talk only about Apurva's awesomeness.
Only about Apurva.
We can do podcasts about Apurva's awesomeness.
I mean, so... Because we've seen so many seasons, it's really rare to find a faithful or innocent player who is that good at putting forward an argument
100%.
with absolute, bringing the receipts. Absolutely,
clear.
She was very clear about, okay, I think that it's 1000% Raj. Here is one. And then she laid out her argument.
And she started with, it's not Ashish, it's not Janhvi. और मैं नहीं चाहती ये दोनों जाए.
And it's not Ashish because no traitor is going to slip his way through, because if you're a traitor, you want to know what is happening in all the groups,
times.
Which is a great argument. Even before, I don't think we put that together.
No.
I would have never thought of that. Putting that as an
just
argument.
Articulating that was tops.
Excellent. I mean, the fact that she put that together, and that made the argument for me.
100%.
Because for me, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And she didn't start with saying Raj. When she put that, ye dono nahi hai. And then she talked about how the traitor persona would be everywhere, saying these loud things. So Anshula says, so that just defines Raj's behavior, but I don't think it's Raj. At which point Apurva just says, look, I am scared I'm going to be murdered. But I'm done. I am going to start giving you observations. So Raj for a moment just says something, and he's like, 1 minute Raj, I have 10 more observations. And she shuts everybody else out and goes for it. Ek karke. It is just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when Sufi asked Raj something initially, he kind of pauses for a bit initially, and then he's like, oh, this is just my personality, this is how I am, I just want to be friends with everybody and this and that. I mean, it's okay, like you can read that as a weak argument, it's fine, it is what it is. But then he tries to stop the round table from happening. He's like, let's go to a vote.
That's right. So before Apurva starts talking, when
before she destroys him.
Right. Ashish is front and center, and Raj just says, chalo, a vote karte hain. In the history of all the seasons of Traitors I've watched, I have never seen somebody rushing a vote. It's usually always the players are like, I don't know what to do, I'm so confused.
In fact, the hosts are the one who stop people from talking. They're just like, this is it, like now we'll go to a vote, your time is
up. Time for discussion is over.
Time for discussion is over. That's exactly what. The time for discussion is over, now it's time to vote.
Claudia
or Alan.
Alan, right.
Incredible. So, the fact, I mean, Karan is not as involved in the
I don't think he's even in the room.
He's not in the room, which is very odd.
Excuses.
Usually they are always in the room. The host
they linger on the side, which is
linger on the side.
Yeah.
And Karan is not in the room, which I mean, it's a note to give because they should be in the room. I feel like the host
should be hovering because
much more involved in this. It's pressure. Actually, the roundtable is quite long. At least I don't know if the others are edited so much so that it seems longer in this.
I think I've seen some podcasts where they talk about roundtables. Sometimes go a couple of hours, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Right.
Sometimes, and they don't obviously have to edit out what is relevant. Not relevant.
2 hours, 3 hours seems crazy.
I can see it. Like, I can see that.
It's very messy.
It's decision time.
It's decision time.
And with someone having 10 observations and ratting them out, they need time, man.
That's true.
Unless Raj is coming and rushing a vote out, I've never seen that happen.
Never seen it. It's such a bad move.
Right.
But when Apurva does it, and then Apurva goes into her spiel and she's just like, you guys all talked and then you have to let me talk, and then she makes her voice heard, which is great. Good
great
for her.
Stuff.
Love that. But her arguments were so solid. She's like, he said that we need to kick those people out who talks like this. Like, we are all trying to win the money, so only a traitor would think like this. And there are other things that he has said to different people. And then obviously when they see her arguments working, other people chime in. Raftar chimes in, and then Urfi chimes in as well. And she's like, "Oh, I was too scared to say anything, but I think it's you as well."
Jasmine also.
She brings in.
हाथ में गंगा.
Exactly.
गंगा में हाथ धोए सबने.
She like everybody starts to chime in, but she's very certain, and I like the fact that she's so assertive and she brings the receipts. And obviously once the vote happens, you could see that, like, okay, Raj is going today, which is crazy. Like, I was on tenterhooks because that's never happened before. That a traitor has been found in
on the first roundtable.
That is history making,
and I think it's a thing for us to be proud of. Like, I don't know why I'm so proud, but it is so much
Indian
fun.
Traitors, like,
I did not see that coming.
I did not see
that coming. And wow, like, so nicely done.
True.
Yes, Raj incriminated himself.
Yeah, he was terrible at it.
Straight off the bat.
But we've seen worse
traitors. But the fact that everyone collectively and Apurva putting the argument, so somebody right after the banishment said, Apurva, ye tera episode hai. I feel like Apurva, ye tera episode hai. And like, it was so brilliant. So again, props to Apurva.
Huge props. Like, she has really made history, and it's incredible. I mean, and she can take the credit for that by herself, because at that
fully
roundtable, I don't think they were ready to vote Raj yet, because he still had some level of like a social game. He had influence. So I don't think people were willing to take him on at that point.
And again, this is potentially my case for when regular people are going in. Everybody's on the same level playing field. Whereas if you're doing it with celebrities, there is some social stature that people come with as a preconceived notion that then goes into your gameplay.
Definitely.
Because usually on the first round table, either people don't even know who the traitors are or don't have enough evidence, or they're just too scared to openly say it. I have also never seen a banishment or a round table where people have openly said, we are scared, but I'm going to go out on the limb and just say it with this much conviction, especially on the first banishment.
Yeah.
So, props and wins.
She's like, I will get
straight off the
murdered,
bat.
but
I know I will get
I don't want to
murdered.
get.
Right.
I don't want to kick these guys out because I know they are faithful and things like that.
Right.
Great play.
Right.
Raj goes, and one thing that I think we should talk about is that the other two traitors were smart enough to read the room and vote for Raj.
That's
Good
right.
for them.
Yes, smartly done.
Yes.
However, there were two people that did not vote for Raj.
Mahim
and Lakshmi.
And Lakshmi.
They voted for Ashish, and I'm like, guys, what more data points do you require?
She is not a good traitors player. I think she doesn't understand. She is the one who doesn't understand the game. Like, if you had to give me that question, who is the person who still doesn't understand the game? It's Mahim. Because I feel like she is so single-minded in her hatred of Janvi that she's just like
the tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So actually, Mahip and Janvi then are similar in the way that they're fixated.
That's why they hate each other.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you know
they're
what?
Similar personalities.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I agree with your strategic opinion in terms of it's bad gameplay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But as audience, I am so entertained by Mahip.
Oh yeah. She's great.
She's just such a favorite.
I mean,
and because you said that, on behalf of Mahip, I'm gonna say Sanuki, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
And
what a great line.
My God, some of the one-liners in the show are tops.
Amazing.
Sanuki, dude.
Sanuki, dude.
Yeah. Like for whatever, however bad her gameplay might be, I want her to stay the entire season because I am entertained by her.
She is very entertaining.
Yes.
It's true.
So I'm going to hope for, I'm Team Mahip.
I don't know if I'm Team Mahip, but I do want her to stay.
Yeah. I'm like, calm down.
Although I don't think she's gonna stay, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So once Raj goes, Purav is a bit scared, which is interesting because you don't see traitors that scared that early in the game. And then obviously it goes to like they're celebrating whatever, and then goes to the traitors tower, and they make a weird decision. Let's go into that.
Yeah.
Because I think we discussed this most when this was actually happening.
Yeah.
We assumed that Apurva
will be murdered, like right after.
Immediately.
Yeah.
It was just like they don't want to recruit, so obviously they get a choice whether they want to recruit someone, a third person, or they want to murder. They choose to murder.
Or they would recruit Apurva.
Yeah.
Or murder her.
Yeah.
That was the only two options in my head.
My thing was that we thought that she would be murdered.
Yes.
Because that sends a message that you can't find traitors, you can't be a traitor hunter because we're going to murder you. So you have to play your game in a more subtle way, or and we've seen this before in earlier seasons in Australia or the other seasons we've seen. The traitor hunters, however good, are immediately killed because you can't keep them around. They're too dangerous. They have a voice. And once you find a traitor, and she found a traitor in her first go, and she has eyes on the second.
Right.
So to keep her around is
so dangerous.
Bonkers. I don't get this decision at all.
Right.
If they wanted to strike fear, why kill Lakshmi?
Yeah.
I mean, she's harmless. She's basically, I don't know if they are saying something that we are not seeing.
No, I mean they had this logic of the only two people who didn't vote for Raj
was that Mahip
and
people will
Lakshmi.
suspect Mahip.
Mahip and Anshula, one of them is a traitor, is the logic, and Mahip said clearly, I will not kill Anshula. So, if we kill Mahip, anyway she's going in the next banishment, so might as well get rid of Lakshmi. Which is still okay-ish, but kill Apurva.
And that does strike fear.
Yeah.
Because until Apurva spoke at the round table, everybody else was a bit scared to go after Raj directly. So if you kill Apurva, I would imagine that other people would, that fear will set in.
100%.
And then they won't go after people that
openly
hard
yeah.
at the circle of Shak. So I don't understand this decision.
Yeah.
They've kept her because I don't know, they think that Elna said that people will assume she's a traitor. I don't see why people will assume she's a traitor. If you're a traitor, why would you banish another one of your own in the first round table?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes no sense.
No, it makes no sense. I think it's more like they see that she's sharp and she's a traitor hunter, so they might want to recruit her later.
Maybe, but they haven't said that unless they cut it out or they said
maybe they had a conversation in the turret about it at a later point.
And the editor
because I think Pooram says if she starts really getting a sniff of us, we'll eliminate her. Yeah. But otherwise, Elna is like, nahi, but she could be useful.
Now we'll be close to her and stuff like that.
Right.
So let's see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Whether this makes sense in the long run.
Yeah.
So far, it has not made sense to us. We are very happy. Look.
Yeah.
We are very happy.
Apurva should stay the longest in the game.
We want her to win. She is amazing. Imagine her going all the way with her great one-liners and her
brother,
sass.
Get some acting classes. You're literally Bollywood vibes. Those one-liners are golden, man.
Amazing.
I was really. I think I'll be sad if Apurva leaves.
I was so sad.
Yeah.
She is my favorite player so far.
Yes, I agree.
Fun. She makes for great TV. So I just think that usually I don't know. Like I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But we'll talk about it in episode 3. Like now that. So they kick out Lakshmi. Apurva makes a big grand entrance at the guest
breakfast on episode 3, right?
Which is funny.
And everyone's like, "Whoa, how did you even survive this?"
yeah. But I feel like it bolsters the innocence. Like, wouldn't you be bolstered if you're still kept around and like if your big traitor hunter is still kept around?
100%.
Like, we'll be like, okay, sure. Then
no two ways about it.
Free, like,
अब तो मैं और बोलूँगी.
Exactly.
और वो बोलती है. She's now down a fairly misleading path on this episode actually.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. But they have their morning breakfast, etc. There is a lot of talk about Mukesh being Mukesh.
Yeah, Mukesh started acting weird, in which he kind of became a lot quiet.
Yeah,
and then somebody
also
says
he was sharp apparently. Like people were.
Yeah, so we haven't seen that as an audience.
No,
we have not seen much of Mukesh. But somebody says कि वो traitor हो सकते हैं, and this other person says to them, नहीं, but उन्होंने तो माँ कसम खाई है. We said उनकी मम्मी अभी दुनिया में नहीं है.
Oh my god, they are so funny.
Yeah, like the kind of stuff that is being said is just like क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? Like another one was like अगर अठन्नियों में बिक रहा है शक यहाँ तो.
Yeah.
You know? So
Sufi said that.
Sufi
said that. So Sufi again on his chain of misconception and misunderstandings is very happy on that train actually. Right. He is like I've said, like he is a very loud, faithful, who innocent, who is very sure about his choices, but their choices are always wrong.
Usually wrong.
But like ends up at least misleading at least 2 or 3 people, if nothing else. But it's very funny, and he will stick around if he doesn't make too much of a mess of things. So the task happens, which is a very physical.
Right, we've seen this one before as well. Digging for gold,
digging for gold, and then floaty things
to go put on the other side.
So we've seen this. It's fine. It is what it is. It was funny mainly because of 2 or 3 things. Raftar's child. I don't know why he did that. He himself doesn't know why he did that. Apparently, it's just like I just belly flopped into this shallow water and then lost my momentum. And then Apurva, obviously being Apurva, is giving commentary at the back, and she's just like, why? मतलब इसको हमेशा हीरो क्यों बनना है, मतलब calm down, so funny.
It was really funny, yes.
That and the Jasmine takes center stage in this episode.
She emerges
as somebody who has theories.
She enters the game pretty much.
Yes, she enters the game.
Yeah.
She might be an interesting player, let's see. So she enters the game and she has theories about like that trio of Jasmine, Mukesh, and Karan are the ones who sort of are the main trio in this episode. Like they're the ones who are focused on the most in this episode.
Right.
Other than Mahip, who's always there. But she enters the game and obviously Apurva seeing Jasmine flop around on those floaty things is just like Miss Ma'am Fear Factor. कुछ नहीं कर सकती. Burn. Just so funny.
Really fun stuff.
So funny. Obviously then the Harsh wins the
does
game
really
for
well.
his team.
Yeah.
And they introduce the shield, which let's talk about the shield a little because we've seen the shield being played in all the seasons so far and all the traitor seasons and season.
Right.
I want something more interesting to be added to this season from an Indian perspective. I'm not sure what that might be. They're sticking quite close to how the traitors is played across the across all the seasons. So I'm hoping that they do something more with the shield, but I don't know. But one more interesting thing that happened is the exited player entered the game.
That's right, Nikita, the poker player.
The poker player. Yeah. She entered the game and immediately set her sights on Elnaz.
और Elnaz की हवाइयाँ उड़ गई. You should have seen her face.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was missing Sahil in that moment.
Oh my god. Yes, because obviously Elnaz kicked her out, so she has her sights set on Elnaz. So that's not good news for Elnaz overall. But so far they've kind of, she's laid low because she's just come in and we'll see how the poker skills pan out. But in this episode, I think then they come back and that's when they have this strange fight between Urfi and Apurva. Where they just cut to, the fight happened, something happened, and Apurva was crying, and then Urfi came to say something and she didn't want to talk to Urfi, whatever.
Yeah.
That was a very big boss type moment, and I just felt it was unnecessary.
Very unnecessary drama.
For what?
Yeah.
They forgot that they were playing traitors.
Yeah,
and they were like, we're in the big boss house now.
Right.
So I hope that we don't see too much of that going forward.
Actually, I don't mind seeing it. Like, drama is good TV, but that's not the show we're
but that's not the show we're watching.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Two people not agreeing, or like Mahip and Janvi do not agree with each other. They hate each other. But that is not I feel like that is not a big boss type argument. It's not drama for drama's sake.
Yeah.
It's just it's okay. You threw my name around, so I'm gonna throw your name around.
Right.
And which happens.
This is just petty.
Which is fair. That happens in the traitors.
Right.
This is very strange.
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere. They seem to forget about it, but I have a feeling this is gonna come up.
Oh, it will emerge. I feel like in the next preview episodes there's shouting matches at the
might be shouting
Circle of Shock. So we'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah, but because, I just hope they don't lean into this.
Yeah, no, because trust is rare and Dhoka is everywhere.
Yeah, so we have to say it. Dhoka everywhere. So
and they take the camera straight close to his face.
I know.
Have you noticed? And it's funny.
Yeah, it's very fun. But. Yeah, I don't know. That was unnecessary. Yeah. But then eventually people went back to playing the game, which was basically throwing suspicion on Mukesh and Mahip. Mahip,
Mukesh, and for whatever reason, Karan. And they started arguing. So Mukesh was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
And being weird. I don't understand why they're just being weird. And Karan, I think, has been shook since the first episode where Nikita got sent home so early in the game.
Yeah.
He said, I've been on all these reality TV shows. This has never happened.
Oh, that's true, actually.
And I think he's just been shook since then because I feel like Karan is more of an aggressive, good game player. He can be strategic. He can be ruthless.
That's what Raftaar also said.
So it was weird to watch him crumble like that. And because he knows Mukesh from before, I think it just shook him that.
Yeah, and
but yeah.
But I still feel odd about like Karan being the focus of attention. Maybe I didn't understand where the suspicion started, but people were very suspicious. Like Raftar was very suspicious.
Yeah, it was just I think Karan was
just body language maybe,
and I think stressed out because at one point I think he realized he's not understanding the game.
Maybe.
And I think he's so used to being alpha in reality TV that he was not a traitor, so he doesn't know what to do.
That's fair. Yeah, maybe it was body language.
And at the circle of shock,
like his hands were shaking.
His hands were shaking.
Yeah.
There were questions being thrown at him, but he was not even being able to string a bunch of thoughts to articulate a defense.
Yeah, not at all.
He was just
no defense.
And then he was just like defeatist in that round table.
Yeah.
And when you're seeing someone that deflated, they all just in the herd voted for him. And this is something Janhvi picks up afterwards. She says to them in the group, and she says, दिख रहा था उसकी शक्ल पे कि वो ट्रेटर नहीं है, वो हार मान चुका है. Which is exactly my takeaway when they were voting for him. But I was seeing it from the lens of, इसने तो हार मान ली है. Like, he's not defending himself. But it was interesting to see Janhvi's clairvoyance, I don't know, to figure that this is happening. Another very interesting thing happened at voting. The votes that our traitors gave were not to Karan, but to Jasmine.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really bad move on the traitors' part.
It was very strange. I think in the previous round, turret meeting, they did discuss Jasmine. They said that I think Jasmine has brought up both of their names at some point, but like no one is adding to that. Like no one is, but she has brought. I think they did mention that she has brought their names up. So I think they've had their suspicions. Like they want to kick her out in some way or shape or form. But it's a very odd decision for both of them to vote Jasmine. I don't know why they did that. Yes, but Jasmine's name did come up in other forums in the palace. So it wasn't out of the blue. I wouldn't say it's out of the blue because people did say that Jasmine. I think that Jasmine is a traitor. Even Apurva said that. I think Jasmine bhi ho sakti hai. But I just feel like I don't know. I don't feel like they made an argument for it or they didn't. It seemed
So her Elna's argument was मैं अभी convinced नहीं हुई इनसे तो मुझे लग रहा है Jasmine है. And to me I was like weak. I mean even though Janhvi said कि Karan के शक्ल पे defeatist लग रहा था, she still voted for Karan because that was the tide. As a traitor especially, I would imagine you would vote for whoever the group is looking like they're voting for. So I was very surprised. And if there's someone, and there are some smart people on that table, I'd be surprised if no one picks up on the fact that only these two people voted for Jasmine.
I'm not sure if these two are the only ones.
I think they were the only ones. There was only 2 votes for Jasmine. There were votes for Mahip.
So there could be
so people could have I think there was 4 votes for Mahip and 2 votes for Jasmine. So there can be it's a distraction there because Mahip is the center of attention and no one's really thinking
about.
If
they didn't want to vote for Karan, Mahip was a safe choice. I think because people would have voted for Mahip. Enough people have said Mahip for you to, but both of them to vote for Jasmine is a very odd decision.
100%. Let's see if it comes to bite them in their backsides later.
Because Jasmine, like we said, is here to play.
She arrived in the episode. I think episode 3 is when Jasmine came alive.
Because at the end of the episode, she cast suspicion on Elnaz and on Purav.
Yes.
Which is the first. Although she says that I don't think he is, but she does bring him up.
She says, अब तो मेरे को समझ आ रहा है धीरे धीरे कि लोगों को कैसे ऑब्जर्व करना है और मुझे लग रहा है एलनास तो है बट इन 3 बॉयज में से ये दोनों तो नहीं है ये हो सकता है बट नहीं है which is enough
kind of half
to go by
yeah.
So imagine if Apurva and Jasmine came together and really exchanged notes. It would be brilliant for the innocents if the 2 of them stopped hating on each other and teamed up.
I don't know if they hate on each other.
I know
just don't think they are.
Yeah, they're not
buddies.
They're not on the same team as they're saying. And they I know Apurva has some suspicion on Jasmine.
Yes, she does.
But if the two of them actually came together, is when real shit will go down.
Hunting will
That's
start.
right.
Yeah,
I think that would be fun from the innocent's point of view.
Unless one of them is recruited, which we will come to.
Which is also highly likely.
Which we will come to. So, because one, like now there is suspicion on Elna's. Not just that her name has been floated around, but also she's playing the game badly according to her fellow traitor. She's playing the game stupidly, where she's making stupid moves. Where she's going from one group to another group and then floating around and then going back to another group. And they all think that she's a khabri.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
In a game where you have to know what's going on around you to be able to control it, especially as a traitor, when both groups are suspicious of you and won't really talk about things when you're around, it doesn't bode well for your game.
And the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
And this is when Sahil would have been a bit of a game changer.
Yes. I don't think she is long for the game. I think they will someone will catch her at some point. Unless she changes something happens and she changes her strategy in some big way, or she finds a group that she gels with and who trusts her. I don't know. She is
solid
under some suspicion, and if the poker player starts to go after her and
which is inevitable.
Teams up with Apurva or someone strong, Jasmine or Apurva, somebody who is outspoken.
Interesting.
Or Raftar, for instance. Raftar is also a very sly player, so
he can be shatir, I think.
He can be quite shatir.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I think this also leads into the discussion about what the traitors are discussing at the end of this episode.
We were going to come to that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, tell me what you thought about both their strategies and how you think it'll play forward in the game. Because they're very different strategies.
Yeah, and both good strategies. So I usually go for the long game strategy almost by default. Yeah. So I was like, Elna, this makes sense.
So Elna says that they should murder Anshula, and then Maheep will be under suspicion.
So it's a double bluff.
They will double bluff. So they will banish Maheep, and then once they banish Maheep at the Circle of Shak, then they can recruit in the next round. They can recruit Jasmine because she wants a female traitor, to be put up as a
Bali ka
bakra. Like sacrifice a female traitor. So they will inevitably, because Jasmine's name has come up quite strongly.
And Jasmine had said, मैं बोल रही हूँ महीप है और अगर महीप नहीं हुई तो मुझे banish कर देना next day. Which I thought was the most ridiculous thing you should put at stake. Like on what basis are you doing that?
But they all talk in hyperbole, so who knows. So, so it's not a bad plan.
Yeah.
That you sacrifice another female traitor so that you protect yourself.
Right.
Not a bad plan.
Right. But our friend Purav is very interesting.
He says, this is stupid.
I'm sorry, but ये बहुत bad
plan. बहुत bad plan. And then immediately Elna's face falls.
Just crestfallen.
She's so happy that she's come up with this great strategy. She's like, I have gamed the whole thing.
Yeah,
I have gamed the whole thing out. Listen to me. And which is very funny.
Yes,
but Purav has a good point.
He does have a good point.
Yeah. So he says that these guys are unpredictable, and we shouldn't think that this is going to happen just because we think that it might. It doesn't mean that it will.
Yeah.
Because ये लोग सुबह कुछ सोचते हैं और शाम को कुछ और सोचते हैं. So we should just kick out the strong players, right?
जो कि बिल्कुल सच है. Right? Like it's so unpredictable.
It's so unpredictable.
He said मैं सोच रहा था आशीष जाएंगे और करण चला गया or something like that. Yeah. He thought Maheep would go.
She says, no, we are in control of the game, and he says, no, we are not in control of the game. Which is true.
Yeah, I don't think they're not in
control of the game.
Especially when they voted for Jasmine, in my opinion.
Yes. I'm tipping a little bit towards his point of view at this point, because I genuinely think that this is an unpredictable, like the Circle of Shak becomes very unpredictable.
Yes.
And this is an unpredictable group of people. people.
Yes.
So you can't really predict what they're going to do.
Which way it will go.
Yeah, what they're going to do, who they're going to suspect. And they're all like strong-willed and, you know, say a lot of things. So you should just kick out the strong players and figure out, like, play as the day goes, I think. I don't know if it makes sense unless you're recruiting, then you have to think a little bit further, but I don't know if it makes sense to think that far ahead in this game with this particular player. Yeah, but you think that we should play a long game, right?
See, my default is usually playing the long game, but I think both of them are right in their points of view, and that's what makes choosing harder.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's right. He's right in saying they're not controlling the game, especially not Elnaz. Elnaz is right now pinging on everyone's radar with that behavior. But you've got to do something, and you've got to do what you think you can do, and it plays out how it plays out. That's not something you can control. So I don't think I would want to be, if I were a traitor, be delusional that I'm in control of the game. However, what is in my control, I would do the action. And while he is, and what I see that I fear for the game in general is that the two of them are taking this disagreement not constructively.
Yes.
You can work together as a team, even though you have very different strategies or plans, and talk it through.
Yeah.
Because both of them have a solid point.
Yeah.
And if you picked the best parts of both arguments, you could actually create a solid play forward.
Like, he is a louder voice than she is, which is an interesting. I didn't think this would be the case. He's more impulsive, and he's not willing to listen to her side. Right. As much.
Interesting. My observation is that he's more affable in the crowd.
Yes.
So
and more cutthroat in the theater, in the traitor tower.
Yes, but he feels, and he's gained confidence.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
She, however, has not gained confidence in the game.
That's a great,
right? Because you've seen him talking to Raftar, and someone said, I think it was Raftar who said to her, "Ki wo Elnaz keeps coming and listening to this person and that person," right? So he has a core group.
Yeah.
He has a circle of trust. Where he's having these conversations.
Definitely does. Like his friend group is very strong.
Right.
And it's right in the middle of everything. So he always knows what's happening. Plus he is friends with Apurva separately.
Right.
Like he is friends with some of these content creators, young people.
Exactly. So I would agree in the point you made about him being loud, as much as he's more affable, thereby accepted, thereby confident.
Not so much loud. I think what I meant was that I think maybe the assertiveness sometimes plays off as like overconfidence. And I don't know if he respects or listens to her as much as he should.
Yeah, because I think he sees her as she hasn't gained as much social capital in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is, I think it's purely game.
Yeah.
I don't think he thinks less of her in life or anything.
No,
I think purely
just in the game.
I don't think he thinks very highly of her because obviously it's very delusional to think.
I remember his first thing when she found out he found out that she was a traitor, and he was just like, I would not have guessed.
Agreed. No, but I'm talking about this point in time at episode 3, they're in the turret and the two of them, there is tension.
Yeah.
And you're right, he's impatient. He's like, how can you even be thinking that you're in control of the game? That has put him off.
Yeah.
So in that, he has just shut it down, you're right.
Yeah.
Ki I'm not listening to her, she's going to ruin my game also. She's going to go down and take me down.
That's a fair argument.
It is
now that I'm talking it through, I think that's a fair thing to not respect, because they are not in control of the game. He is right.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
So for her to say that they're in control of the game seems delusional at best.
Right.
So play like that. Just wing it.
So in that, and that's his attitude I've seen. Like, he's like, yaar, itna nahi sochna. When they were voting on Lakshmi, murdering Lakshmi.
Yeah,
he's like, itna nahi sochna, kar do.
Yeah.
Which is, it serves people most times. But in this moment, as traitors, what I have seen and learned through the various seasons of Traitors this is the time in the game where if two traitors don't band together, traitors will always be like tittar vittar hote ki they will just be all over the place and there will never
or
be a
they
core
turn on
group.
each other. Yeah.
No, if they're already turning on each other and it looks like they don't have an allegiance to each other.
No, they don't.
Which is just really bad for them, both of them.
Yeah.
Because they won't say in their end that one of us is going to survive.
Yeah.
In that moment, if they had decided that it's not going to be one of us that moves forward, we are together and we're going to make this work. Even though we can't control the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I was hoping for that. I'm good gameplay, solid traitors coming together as a team to really make some moves is what I was hoping for.
I also feel like they are a little thrown off. One, that a traitor was found really early in the game.
Fair.
And because once we've seen, because we've seen so many seasons, we've seen that when traitors are not found for 2, 3, 4 banishments, they get more confident.
Yeah.
Cocky. And then cocky, yes, obviously that works against them.
Yeah.
But they, at least the confidence is gained and they kind of figure out a strategy. Because they kind of figure out, okay, this is how the game is working, this is how we should manipulate the group. But I think because they found a traitor that early, they haven't figured out how to game the system yet.
So there's no anchor
in the gameplay. There's no anchor and they're a bit scattered, which is why they are of two different minds.
And it's nerves basically.
It's
stress and nerves. We don't know if we'll survive.
Yeah.
Because Apurva ne ek baar mein dhoond liya.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is definitely stress and nerves. But have hope for them. I think that Purav is a very smart player. He could be a good traitor in the long run if he doesn't let his cockiness get the better of him.
Right.
He can be borderline sometimes, and I have a feeling that if he is found out, it will be because of his own cockiness and nothing else. He needs to be
the right amount of we've seen a successful traitor in the past. I will not name season 2, not give spoilers. Incredible growth from the beginning to the end. The growth arc of the traitor. Traiting so hard. Just being a young Turk amongst a bunch of fairly young, very experienced doers to really coming into his own
and
making it
social game
spectacular.
Incredible social game.
So I think Purav has the making. So this is an if you know, you know. If you know, fans get it. Purav has the makings of doing that, and I'm rooting for him. I feel like Purav has some serious potential in the game. But that being said, we still love Elnaz. I really hope that she stays because she's smart and she's calculative. Yeah, she's thrown off a little bit. But I think she should just stick to her guns and not let anybody else steamroll.
Yeah, so it'll be now interesting to see. Obviously, the 3 names that they picked out were because they want to get rid of Purav wants to get rid of the strong players with a lot of social capital and say so. So it's Ashish and Mukesh and Raftaar.
Yeah,
which is a great. I think 3 good choices. There are 3 vocal people in the palace who seem to have influence, and I mean, whoever goes, whatever decision they make, it will be an interesting one. Because one of the strong players will go, so it will be fun to see what happens. But Raftaar is also a very dangerous player for the traitors.
He can be very shrewd and calculative and
everything depends on who they recruit next. Everything is based on who, and obviously they want to recruit Jasmine. So I don't know if Purav will agree what the game will be by the time they recruit someone.
I would imagine Purav would want to recruit one of his boys.
And if I were Purav, I would want to recruit one of my boys as well, because you want to be in a traitor star with somebody you trust.
Because
very rare.
Trust is rare.
Dhoka everywhere. Although I don't know if I recruited Raftaar, I've been thinking about this. That okay, who would you recruit at this stage in the game?
I really like how Apurva thinks. But I don't know if I would recruit her. I probably would recruit her just because I think it'll be exciting.
No, but if you're a traitor, it'll be exciting to watch, which I completely get. Like usually in traitors in the game itself, as viewers, you are rooting for traitors. Usually, Like you don't normally root for the fate, unless the traitors are really unlikable, which is not
sometimes
always
that
sometimes that
happens.
happens. So you root for the innocents, or the faithful. But in this case, it's both. Like I am also rooting for a lot of the faithful.
It's too early to root for one at this point.
It is early.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's quite evenly matched. Because they are very interesting, well-liked players on both sides. So, who would you recruit as it stands from a traitor's perspective, from their game? We did discuss that we might recruit Ashish, right?
Ashish, yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for the prompt. I fell asleep into Ashish fangirl style.
Oh yeah. You just put the pillow down and just fall asleep.
Maybe we should do that, like that podcast.
Yeah, one of us should sleep.
I think Ashish would be a really good recruit, because he's an actor, and like one of them had said, he has trained all his life to be a villain.
Yeah.
And will he continue sleeping as a traitor? Will he make the switch in personality?
Yeah.
If he does, he's bait. If he doesn't, props to you. Great recruitment.
I think it depends. I think Ashish might be a good option, just in terms of, yes, there is a little bit of suspicion on him. I also don't think that he would betray the other traitors. At least so far, he doesn't seem as cutthroat. Like a Raftar, I would feel like I would be very scared, because he would betray you
just like that.
Yeah. He is very shrewd.
At the end of episode 3.
I have a feeling though that they will choose to recruit to kick somebody off, like somebody who's already a target,
right?
As bait. I don't know. At this point, maybe I feel like they should do that. Because I mean, this game is unpredictable because these guys are all like this, but I feel like they should. Elnaz especially had a good idea in recruiting Jasmine, because she has been speculating and all of that. So maybe they should just find a. But the only problem that happens is recruiting somebody smart can also backfire on you.
That's right.
They can take over the game. Somebody like Ashish would not take over the traitor's game. I don't think he would.
Yeah, he might be quite balanced, I feel.
Yeah, he would be quite balanced.
But he might, that said, I think he could be ruthless towards the end, where it's dog eats dog.
I would love to see him actually play the villain role that she said that he plays. He's always played his
prepared for his entire life.
Yes. Yeah. Purva said that. So I think it would be fun to see, but I suspect it's going to be a Jasmine recruitment.
And who would you recruit?
I mean, I'm very tempted to say Apurva, just because I want to watch her be a traitor.
100%.
She's so chatty. It'll be interesting to see her as a traitor. I can't think of anybody else who would be good enough. I think Anshula might be an interesting traitor. She is kind of a little bit under the radar. She understands the game. She might be an interesting traitor. She'll think about it strategically. I think she'll think about things strategically. And she has a certain calmness that also might work in the Traitor Star. But I don't think that Pura will let her recruit another woman unless it's...
That will be interesting how that dynamic plays out going forward.
I have a feeling he'll want another man in the Traitor's Tower.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect recipe for disaster right now in terms of the conflict between the two of them. Yeah. Not to say that recruiting the man would be problematic, but...
I mean, if it's a man, it might be Raftar, and if it's Raftar, he's going to take over the game. But do we want to watch that? That might not be
We've seen that preview, right?
That would be
we've seen that preview where Raftar seems to be going loco.
Is going crazy, but Sufi is also a loose cannon, so I don't know. Maybe
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for the drama. That's fine. That should be fun. So, speaking of what we've seen in the previews, like what are you looking forward to most?
I'm most excited to see this death procession task play out with the Indian context. The preview was very, very cool, very somber, very scary,
Yeah.
and very real,
Yeah.
which is exactly how they play out in the non-Indian traitor
Yeah.
seasons as
Yeah.
well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we've got high hopes now
We
with
have
the production.
one where the traitors have to do something in plain sight.
Yes.
So I don't know if Elnaz is great at that. So that should be fun. They don't seem to be agreeing on something. So something she's doing is wrong, or something she is pissed off about something that he is not doing. So let's see how that pans out. We've seen these tasks happen before in the earlier versions of the game, and those are always like they keep you on edge. So that's something really big to look forward to. That and the recruitment, of course.
Yeah.
They do recruit someone, so I'm sure they recruit someone. Production will push them to recruit someone
for sure. I really like how they've edited the teasers for the coming episodes, where they've shown conflict with the traitors. They've shown oh my god, traitors, what an amazing move.
In the innocence as well. The innocents are fighting with each other. The traitors are fighting with each other.
There's all this to look forward to, and we're excited.
Yeah, of course we are.
And talking about excitement, do you want to talk about a few predictions that you want to claim? Even though we did talk about who we'd want to recruit as traitors or predictions for traitors, what are some predictions?
So I suspect that the next one to go out will be Maheep, given how much she has going against her, unless something changes dramatically or the traitors make a mistake.
Interesting.
And from the traitors, I mean Elnaz makes a mistake, because I think Purav is very, very far from suspicion at this point. It's just been raised once or twice, but Elnaz is close to elimination. I think at least like 1 or 2 maybe 2 or 3 banishments from. It'll be interesting to see. I think in this case, I suspect that Mukesh has gone. That's what they picked on the last Traitors Tower. I don't know how much that will skew the game. I think they should have picked Raftaar, but
I have a quick interjection there where I have a theory.
Okay.
So Mukesh was also on the chopping block for murder the night Lakshmi got murdered.
Right.
And my suspicion is that if Mukesh had been murdered that night, Karan would not have been banished the subsequent day. Because I feel Mukesh's behavior and his camaraderie with Karan threw Karan off, because at some point he thought that Mukesh thought that Karan was a traitor, and he couldn't defend himself, and he was thrown off.
I think Maheep would have or Jasmine
possibly. I think Maheep, but the nature of the group is so dynamic. You're right, I thought Maheep as well, but just a crazy thought here where I feel like Mukesh, if he had gone on that day, then Karan would have still been in the game, is something that I feel.
Yeah, possibly. Also, because they were close, I don't think people would suspect Karan of kicking out or murdering Mukesh. I think they would
Good point.
I think people would be like, okay, Karan would do that.
Yeah, he would have just been.
He would have just
in control of himself.
I don't know if he made as much of an impact that it would make that much of a difference.
Right.
So far, I don't know.
There's only
if
speculation.
If Apurva goes, then it'll make an impact. If even Urfi has been fairly, or Raftaar have been fairly vocal players of the game. I think if they go, it will still make some level of impact.
I'm putting my money on Harsh. I feel like he's a very balanced player from what we have seen in the 3 episodes. And I think he is gonna go far as a faithful, as an innocent.
As a recruitment, think about it.
I don't think either of these 2 traitors are thinking of recruiting a Harsh.
Yeah, that's true.
But that being said, I feel like Harsh can be quite ruthless as a traitor.
He would be.
And he would be really good. I think if he's shown anything, he's playing his part well.
He would.
So it would be very interesting to see him as a traitor. But I feel like he will play this game as a good faithful. Which might paint a target on his back if he continues.
But clearly these guys
they're not picking up on it. They're not picking up.
But these guys don't want to kick out people who are likely to suss them out, which makes no sense.
But
Yeah.
So I that's where I think the game is going.
What do
I
you
also
think are going to be like the top 6 or people
Ooh.
remaining?
Ooh. I feel like Janvi with some freak luck
Oh my god.
is going to ride through to the end because
Her black
she will
magic.
never be a traitor.
Her black
She will just be an innocent, but
Yeah.
I think everyone has
Hated, yeah.
everyone has come to terms, I think, with her, and she will sit in one corner in general.
Yeah.
Janvi will make the end or close to
God.
the end.
Okay.
I will say Harsh, Purav,
Okay.
and one of Jannat and Jasmine. So
They're
that's
quite interchangeable.
yeah.
So far.
But not like
Now-
Jasmine has
now
arrived.
Jasmine has
Jannat
arrived.
has not really.
No.
But I feel only one of them will survive later to a later
I
point in
suspect
the
Jannat.
game.
Because
Yeah,
Jasmine
because
is vocal.
Yeah.
And either she'll be recruited and kicked out, or she'll be kicked out just or murdered, like basically. I think Jasmine has put a bit of a target on her back.
Right. And
From both ends.
Yeah. And I feel like Sudhanshu, he's quiet.
Sudhanshu will definitely
might
make it.
just
I
get
think
to
more than Janvi, I think Sudhanshu will make it because he's harmless. He doesn't like the traitors don't fear him, and the faithful, he's too faithful.
Yeah.
He's too innocent for the innocent to think that he's a traitor.
And he actually
So-
got do punch. It just didn't translate into the team. So he's clearly not loud enough.
So dumb.
But I feel like he will last.
Yeah, I suspect that too. I think he's one of those people who just kind of sail along
Yeah.
quietly
Yeah.
and make it.
And my last pick
Yeah.
is Apurva just because I want to see more of
I
Apurva
would love
on the
that.
traitors.
That would be amazing. So in
So
this
that's my top
speculation, only one traitor survives, or
I feel like
they
there will be
recruit
recruitments.
someone.
Yeah, there will be recruitments. The game will not allow for.
No. There of course will
yeah.
be recruitments. One person cannot stay for that long,
Yeah.
but interesting.
Your
I
turn.
agree. I think with most, Sudhanshu will definitely stay. I think that if Ashish is not recruited, he could stay. Like he's also a quiet kind of player who might, if he manages to weather this brief storm that has come his way, and the loud people will take over
Yeah.
at some point, then he could stay. I think Apurva will stay. I would want Apurva to stay. I don't think she's gonna stay that long. I mean, the traitors will eventually kill her if they don't recruit her. So I don't think the top 6 is gonna happen for her. How much ever we might want it. I think Sufi might stay. Sufi is so wrong about so many things. It pays to keep him around. So I feel like Sufi will just suspect like wrong people. He will never get his act right, so he will stay because
Interesting.
he's loud, and so that's how many.
And he
1,
brings
2.
the drama. I think
He
he did
brings
5.
the drama,
Yeah.
so that's 5, and 6. I think that Jannat might stay because she's harmless again.
That's so interesting.
But I don't know if which one of them. If there are 2 traitors, then Purav ke saath kaun hoga? I'm not sure. If Ashish can become a traitor, then Ashish might stay till that late in the game.
Nice.
If the 2 of them are traitors, but then Purav will stab him in the back for sure. I have a feeling.
Yeah, it might be a really fun dogfight at the end
Yeah.
if that happens.
Yes.
Because I don't rate one less than the other.
Yeah, but you never know. You know,
Yeah.
late recruitments can be
Oh,
very
100%.
tricky in the game, and they can just get away with the whole all
Murder,
of the money.
literally.
Yeah, like we've seen that happen.
I've seen that happen.
So you never know. Sometimes you build trust as a faithful that for that long, and then suddenly you become a traitor, and then
Take the game away.
you take the game away
Yeah.
because people just don't suspect you.
Yeah, but for some reason I'm really rooting for a traitors gang. I want at least 2 traitors to
Yeah.
work together.
Yeah.
That makes for really good TV. Like
Yeah,
it makes,
really does.
It's really fun when traitors are
In sync about strategy.
and really killing it
Yeah.
literally and figuratively
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah.
where the innocents are like, oh my god, I don't know what to do, and then there is an innocence resurgence.
Yeah.
And that's when I really enjoy
That's
a season
true.
where
I'm
it
hoping
just
that happens.
yeah.
So far, I've been, I'm hopeful.
There is hope, so that's always a
the
good.
next episodes are crucial.
Yeah.
To see where both parties go, basically.
For sure.
So yeah. So I think that's it, guys. We will talk through more of the creators as the next episodes drop. We are very sorry about the weird framing and editing in this video. Because you have to spare us. We are new to this and also millennials.
So congratulations on our first podcast
Yay!
together on the Fellowship of the Binge.
Yay! If you want to hit us with your traitors theories, please comment and like and subscribe.
Alright. Bye.